Hello, Manic Expression. I'm Kyle Edwards, and today, the Alien and Predator Total Destruction DVD set arrived in the mail, and I was really excited because I had to walk home in the rain today because I forgot my umbrella. So, it's a nice stormy day in Texarkana, Texas. Now, I've decided before I actually make full movie reviews of the collection, I'm going to give a brief rundown of each movie. Let's dive into 1979 first and have a look at Alien. This movie was directed in 1979 by Sir Ridley Scott with special monster effects done by H.R. Giger, with a brilliant cast of Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt, Yaphet Kotto, and Ian Holm. This movie is by far my favorite movie of all time, as well as my favorite movie in the Alien franchise. I mean, normally today when you go see a horror movie, you want to see everyone get killed by the monster or the villain. In this movie, you grow attached to the characters. You want to see them survive, but there's nothing you can do as they're all killed off one by one. Spoiler alert, but you'll have to wait for the full review. Now let's dive into 1986 and have a look at Aliens. Aliens, the sequel to Alien, directed by James Cameron. Oh yeah. This time, the monster effects were done by one of the greatest movie monster designers ever, Stan Winston. Now, Alien 3. This movie takes place directly after Aliens, but was released 3 years later. 5 years later, but was released 5 years later. In my opinion, this movie is severely underrated. A lot of people were dissatisfied with the ending, but this has got to be my second favorite Alien movie. Sorry, Aliens, but you rank in at third. The story is tragic, ironic, hopeless. They finally ended the trilogy nicely. There's no traces of the xenomorph left. There's nothing left. There's no way the xenomorphs could ever come back. The Queen is destroyed. But you can't keep a money-hungry studio down. So, 5 years later, we were introduced to this. Alien Resurrection. Any true Alien fan will be able to tell you that this movie was retarded. This movie is very retarded. Nothing in this movie adds up. Nothing makes sense. All the characters are there just to die. This would be the worst Alien movie that exists, but I'll let you know on a worse one when we get deeper into the review. Now let's dive into 1987, where we have Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch Schaefer, and also the movie monster designs and special effects were done by my hero, Stan Winston, who also did work for the Predator, the Terminator 2, and Terminator Salvation. He died during the movie Terminator Salvation being made, so rest in peace, Stan. And those of you who don't know who he is, shame on you. Shame on you. Now, Predator 2, released 3 years after the original Predator. I'm not so sure it's a direct sequel because they never specify, although they do rip off a lot of quotes from the original. But also, the great movie monster designs, as usual, were done by Stan Winston. This movie takes place when there's in Los Angeles with rivaling gangs, drug wars. They basically turned it into battle Los Angeles, 1987 or 1990. Now, Predator 2 was the marking point for the decline of the declining point of the Alien and Predator franchise, but this movie just worsened to drag it down. Alien versus Predator. Now, I was 8 years old by the time I'd seen all the Alien and Predator movies, and I told my pal in school when I was like in 2nd grade, I said, dude, I wish they'd make an Alien versus Predator movie, and when he told me that they already did, I just about shit my pants. And I'm like, where can I find this movie? And he said, Blockbuster. I rented it, and I hated it. I just hated it. This movie, you know what? I'm going to save this for the review if I decide to review it. Because there's a worse movie that was made after that 3 years later. Aliens vs. Predator, Requiem. This movie deserves to be destroyed. No, this movie deserves to be urinated on, blown up, set on fire, and all over again. Alright? My God, this makes the first AVP look like an Oscar-worthy performance. My God. And in the first AVP, they used animatronics for the xenomorphs. And in this movie, you can tell it's a guy in a rubber suit as a xenomorph. You're like, because their costumes are so rubbery, it's so, Oh my God. There's a pizza boy in this movie. That's our protagonist. That's what 20th Century Fox wants us to care about. A freaking pizza boy. Thank you all for watching. I've been Kyle Edwards, and what happened?